Hi, this is Mike Brown, owner of Death Wish Coffee Company. Welcome to Fueled by Deathcast.
I love jazz, but sweet and hot. Whoop, little more
Death Wish Coffee presents Fueled by Deathcast, the world's strongest podcast. With your hosts, the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man.
Welcome, everybody. It's that time again. Fueled by Deathcast, episode 27. And as always, I am the incredible Jeff.
I'm so glad we don't have to put on like radio DJ voices.
Welcome to the show. This is episode 27. I'm the amazing D-Man. I like that, actually. Maybe you should start talking like that.
Shit, I'm tied to it now.
Yeah, we're a little frisky today, but it's good. It's good. We got a great show for you coming up. As always, we start the show by thanking the incomparable Brock Powell, BrockFox.com. He is the voice of the Kool-Aid Man. He is the voice of 1,000 awesome things. And go follow him and check out all the stuff that he does, and especially what he does for us. And follow his podcast, Unpop Podcast. There we go. Him and Curtis and Austin make fun of movies in the most hilarious way.
They're awesome.
It's really, really good. We just got back from an incredible trip, so I want to shout out some of the podcasts that we talked to down there, including Walker Nation.
That's Dave Solo, right?
Dave Solo,
oh, man,
yep.
He is so cool.
The Pop 10 podcast.
I hope you're listening to this, Dave. You are so cool.
That's also Dave, and also Walker Stalkers podcast. That's a lot of stuff all about The Walking Dead. And we bring that up because we literally just got back from our incredible time at the Walker Stalker Convention in Nashville.
We're not going to talk about it too much because we are releasing a special episode for y'all to listen to when we were in Nashville.
There's Nashville. Yeah, right alongside this episode this week, there is another little mini episode, the Walker Stalker Nashville Spectacular episode.
I mean, so many cool things happened that we needed to have its own episode so we could just talk about what went on at the Walker Stalker Festival.
And you get to hear the excitement in our voice as we're recording directly from the floor, especially with some special guests.
Including Dave Solo.
Yes.
And
we'll
Ming Chen.
So we'll talk about all that stuff on that episode. So go on over and check that out.
Secret code unlocked. Discount of death.
So, this week, if you type in the band name, Hatebreed.
Yes, all one word, Hatebreed.
And that's because our special guest this week happens to be a guitarist for this band. So, if you type in the special discount code, you will get 15% off of everything Valhalla Java. And that is because this man that we are talking to loves Zakk Wylde and loves Valhalla Java.
As every guitarist should.
Yeah, right?
15% off all Valhalla Java products this week.
Science!
What do we got?
Well, we got me screwing up the visuals already, but that's okay. This week on Science, we're not going to space. We're digging into the ground again. And it's pretty fun. The world's most diverse collection of dinosaur footprints has been found. And I thought that was pretty cool. They were found on the Dampier Peninsula in Australia.
Whoa.
And if you're watching this on our YouTube channel, you can see a picture of all of the footprints behind us. And this is actually just one of the large areas.
That's like a jackpot there.
At least 48 different track sites were found in a 15.5 kilometer stretch. That's huge.
It's like
huge.
New York City of the dinosaur era right there.
Totally. At least they were concentrated in at least 3 main areas. They're still uncovering all this stuff, and thousands of tracks have been examined. Dr. Steve Salisbury, who's a paleontologist at the University of Queensland, actually said the diversity of the tracks around Walmandini, which is where this is, was globally unparalleled and made the area the Cretaceous equivalent of the Serengeti.
Wow.
Now, it's funny because a lot of movies about dinosaurs, including Jurassic Park, but also The Land Before Time and even Ice Age and stuff like that, they always show multiple different species all kind of herding together like a big, beginning of the Lion King type-esque thing, you know? And that's super up until now. We really never had any record of that.
Yeah.
Like, we always thought that was kind of a fake thing. It's not. This actually proves it, and that's incredible. The sites are providing a really good look at the early Cretaceous period, and all of these footprints together, there, like I said, are so many different species of dinosaurs walking around. They range between 140 million to 270 million years old, and they range in size between 8 inches to up to 5.7 feet. And that's some of the largest tracks ever recorded. And there's one with a guy sitting right next to it right there. That is such a huge animal.
They find that guy there too?
Yes, the guy was there too.
He looks like a dinosaur.
This also, all of these tracks is the first time that it has been confirmed that the dinosaur, the Stegosaurus, the one with the big plates on its back and the spines on its tail, it's the first time that it has been confirmed that that dinosaur actually was walking around in Australia. We had never found any evidence of that before, so that's really interesting.
Wow.
Another really interesting thing about this is the tracks also have ties to the indigenous Aboriginal people of Australia. They have this thing called a song cycle, where for as long as ancient time can remember with these Aborigines, they communicate a lot through song, and a lot of their history and a lot of their culture is passed down through song. And these tracks have been known to them way longer than they've been known to the public at large, and they actually coincide with some of the songs that coincide with their culture.
Yeah.
So not only are we learning more and more about, the dinosaurs and the Cretaceous area, we're learning more about the indigenous people of Australia by making this discovery as well.
That's amazing.
It really, really is.
Well, before writing was even invented, which is a relatively new thing in the scheme of things, the way stories were passed along is song. Because that's a way they would be able to remember it. It would be catchy, so that story would be passed on and on through the centuries. So much so where, they're still concrete now. That's intense, man.
It really is. Music is a universal language, and it goes back even hundreds of millions of years because it's connected to the dinosaurs.
That's so intense.
So cool.
So fascinating.
What fuels you?
So this week, like you said, we got to talk to a pretty incredible musician. He is the guitarist of Hatebreed, and we will be talking to him later on. But Wayne actually had some really cool things to say about being in the position that he's in. And what fuels us this week is the idea that you never know in this life where you're going to end up. You can have your goals, you can have your aspirations, you can have kind of the track that you want to follow, but you never actually know if it's going to be the way that you think it's going to be, or even get close to that, idea on paper, quote unquote. And one thing to do, I feel, is you should always make decisions. We've said this before. You should always make decisions based on your heart, how you feel in that moment, and you should decide based on your belief behind it.
And the biggest reason is because no matter what you do, it's likely not to work out at first or second or third.
Right.
And if you don't actually love the thing you're doing, you're going to give up.
Right.
Inevitably. So you better be doing the thing that you love so you can actually refine it to the point of success.
Exactly. And on top of that, it's not just about, listening to your heart and making those choices based on your core belief, your feeling behind it, but also being open to new possibilities, also being open. A lot of times, I was thinking about this the other day. A lot of times, the metaphor of walking down the road of life is something that is, ingrained in a lot of us. We understand that metaphor. The journey through life is this road, and sometimes there are forks in that road, and you can take the left side, you can take the right side. Sometimes it's the straight and narrow is the way to go. Sometimes it's the off the beaten path is the way to go. Something that's not talked about a lot is you can go backwards too. And I don't mean that in a detrimental way, but the road of life is a moving, living thing, at least the way I perceive it. And it doesn't have to necessarily be I am only going through these steps and I can never revisit that step again. You never know. You should always be open to possibilities, because maybe sometimes going back and revisiting something is the right move, and you never know it without being open to it and following your heart, making that choice and doing it. And this will make a lot more sense when we actually talk to Wayne. But I mean, like, it really, I think at its core, at its generality is something that we can all strive for, is the idea to make decisions in life, but really, make them based on your strong feeling, your strong belief behind it, but never be so, tunnel visioned into only following that one path. Well, I made that decision and that's it. Yeah. You know what I mean? There's no right or wrong decision, but there's no one answer or other answer. There's many answers out there, and there's no, even if you think you made a wrong one, doesn't mean that's the end of it.
And sometimes it's hard to decide, man, but you have to be decisive, and the best way to be that way, and it sounds corny, but I'm going to say it, just fucking follow your heart, man.
Follow your heart.
Just listen to it. Be in touch with yourself. Be open to yourself, and just be willing to take sacrifices for the things you love.
Right. This kind of actually goes back to the science segment we just had. Music is a universal language. How many songs in music have been written about that exact thing, following your heart? Yeah. I mean,
it sounds corny. It really does.
It sounds corny, but there's
a
really
reason why everybody's still saying it. It's because it's true.
Totally.
Community shout out.
All right, so this week on the community shout out, we're shouting out Gus Conde. First of all, happy belated birthday, Gus. He just celebrated a birthday. But Gus has been an incredible OG supporter of the brand since the very inception of this brand. And he's from Brazil.
Yeah, he's a drummer.
He is a drummer. He used to drum for an act called Rihanna. Yep. Who's funny. It's funny. We've actually brought Rihanna up a bunch on this podcast. We should probably try to get her on the podcast.
Done.
Okay.
Done. I'll call her tomorrow.
All right. We'll make that happen. But Gus, like I said, another one of you, of the plethora of you out there that is just full of positivity and is in love with Death Wish Coffee. So we're in love with you. Yeah. And we wanted to give you a shout out. And it just so happens that we are doing a blog on Gus, because there's some really cool stuff that Gus is a part of, and you guys will learn all about it next week when that comes out on Death Wish Coffee. Yep. So that's really cool. And I wanted to bring up, last week we had the incredible guest Claire Wineland on the show, and we said that if you guys use the code that was our secret code last week, which was her name, Claire, every time the code was used, we would add $1 to our donation to Claire's Place Foundation.org. And Dustin and I are putting out that donation. It's from the two of us from Fueled by Deathcast. Yep. And a lot of you use that code, so it...
And that's not company money. That's just because Jeff and I believe in this cause so much that, it was more than just feeling obligated. It felt like the right thing to do, and I just want to be a part of this, and I want to help, and I want to feel like I'm a part of the Clarity Project.
Yeah, and the Claire's Place Foundation, if you don't know what we're talking about, go back to last week's episode, listen to that.
Do it. Don't. Yeah. What do you listen to this for?
Yeah.
Go back to last week if you haven't
and then come back and listen to this one.
If you feel like it.
Yeah. And we talk much more about it and just how awesome it is, and we're making that donation this week. And that's also because that whole thing is tied into Ricky's ride, which is happening right now. Ricky Rackman is touring all 48 states on his motorcycle, and all the proceeds of that are going to Claire's Place Foundation.
And we're going to see him this weekend. And if you're in the area...
Yes, if you happen to be in the Albany area, Albany, Saratoga, upstate New York area, Ricky Rackman is making his ride come through here. Yep. He's coming to Death Wish HQ.
And you can meet him yourself. You can come to Nonola on Friday night. Yeah. And Jeff and I will be playing music.
Yes, we will.
With Kane, also from Death Wish Coffee. Yeah. And Ricky Rackman will be there for a little meet and greet.
And Brad's going to be there too.
Screw Brad.
But yeah, it's going to be we're celebrating the year release of our vodka. We're celebrating with Albany Distilling as well.
So it's a party.
It's going to be a huge party.
Get ready to get down with Death Wish.
But yeah, Ricky's coming around, so we'll be posting from the headquarters here, and we'll also be posting from over there. And like I said, all of the proceeds of that go to claresplacefoundation.org, so that'll be a lot of fun.
The Death Wish Death List.
Jeff, who died?
Well, this week we lost an iconic English actor and voice actor. Peter Sallis was 96 years old, lived an incredible life.
Yeah.
And you probably know him best. Again, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can see behind me. You probably know him best for voicing Wallace in the multi-Academy Award winning Wallace and Gromit. Very fun. Do you know Wallace and Gromit? You're looking at it like you don't.
I'm familiar with it, but I think when I was young and that cartoon was out, it made no sense to me.
It is. It's one of those animated things, and it's claymation. It's one of those things that is a little bit geared towards adults.
Yeah, it was.
It is.
I remember it being kind of dry, right?
It's English, so yes,
Okay,
it's definitely dry.
That makes sense.
But it definitely.
I never got English humor when I was.
It definitely has a little bit more of that adult humor. He's also known for playing Norman Clegg in the immensely popular British television series Last of the Summer Wine. He started that in 1973, and he played all the way through 2010, making him the only character to appear in all 295 episodes.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool. But he
That's a lot
performed
of episodes.
He performed in so many different things, voice acting, television, even on the stage. He was in the first ever performance of Cabaret in 1968 opposite Judi Dench, now Dame Judi Dench. But tons of credits to his name, like I said, like Doctor Who, The Pretenders, Wuthering Heights, The Wind in the Willows. He voiced Rat in The Wind in the Willows. And Who is Killing the Great Chefs of Europe. So many more. He wrote a very a popular autobiography about his life and actually was awarded the Order of the British Empire in 2007.
Boy, that sounds very pristine.
It is. It's given to you by the Queen herself.
Do you get a crown with that, or
no? You get a little medal, and you get she does the thing where she knights you and stuff. So
fancy.
Yeah.
Was he a sir? Was he a
No,
sir?
he wasn't a sir, because like the next one up is the sir.
Oh, I
But
see.
He got an OBE. So
What the hell? He
Yeah.
should have been knighted.
yeah, but he was an incredible actor, and we're sad that he has passed on this week.
But there are some people getting older.
Yes, Death wish you a happy birthday.
You're closer to death now. Let's celebrate it.
Death wish you a happy birthday. This guy right here, Friday, June 9th, Michael J. Fox is going to be 56 years old, Marty McFly himself. On Saturday, June 10th, we have a pair of awesome people. Really funny guy, one of my favorite comedians, Bill Burr.
He has an amazing podcast, too.
Yeah.
I love his anger. He's great.
And Bill Burr is going to be 49 years old. Also on Saturday, June 10th, the incredibly lovely Kate Upton is going to be 25, known for all of her Sports Illustrated swimsuit editions.
You picked a decent picture there,
I
Jeffrey.
did. She has some very undecent pictures online, and it's okay. We're a family show sometimes. On Sunday, June 11th, Tyrion himself, Peter Dinklage from Game of Thrones, is going to be 48. Man, I can't wait for that show to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And another pair, but celebrating the same day because they're almost the same person. Tuesday, June 13th, Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, the Olsen twins, are going to be 31 years old.
So I recently found out why they use twins for TV shows, for kids for TV shows. Do you know why?
Because of the child labor laws, right?
Yeah, exactly. They're only allowed to work a certain amount of time per day.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have twins, you can just switch them out.
It was a little bit different with Mary-Kate and Ashley, at least to my understanding, is because when they were on the show, when Full House started, they were babies, and it was the idea of we don't have to roll the dice with just one baby, and if that baby's crying all day, then the shoot is lost. It's like just switch them out.
And what if that baby dies?
Right.
Sorry, that was a bit dark. I'll pull it back a bit.
but happy birthday to all of them this week.
I smell a roast.
Now I know I said I'd pull it back, but we got a roast.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
We're gonna push it forward here. And
This is our brand new segment, like you guys have heard. This is the one where Dustin gets angry about something.
Okay. I'm not gonna get that angry because
He says that now.
all of the shows that I'm gonna name here, I've really enjoyed. And today's subject with the roast is the new American culture soap opera.
Yeah,
And people don't even realize it, but you are watching soap operas
always.
every single day. And they've just have these weird themes now. So, for example, and I hate to talk shit about this because we were just there, but The Walking Dead, that's a zombie soap opera. Don't kid yourself.
It is, but I will give it credit as it never came out of the gate saying it was anything else. The Walking Dead as a show, and for fans of it out there, you might agree with me, that from the very beginning, it wasn't about zombies are after me. There's all these zombies. Now, yes, even the first episode was, but the through line of that first season, that first couple episodes, was the main character, Rick Grimes, waking up in a zombie apocalypse and going, where's my family? Is anyone that I know still alive? And I have to go find them. So it was about his plight, his story, very soap operatic. I understand that. But some of these other shows that are out there, they lie straight to your face.
Yeah, but okay, let me continue here, Jeffrey. Sons of Anarchy, motorcycle soap opera.
Totally.
Falling Skies.
Totally.
Alien soap opera. And they just go on and on and on. And here's the thing. And American Gods. We're going to see that turn into a soap opera soon, I think.
Yeah.
And here's the problem is that
Game of Thrones.
The Dragon soap opera.
Dragon soap opera.
And here's the thing that grinds my gears, Jeffrey.
That roast.
Is that they start off great. And I'm going to take Walking Dead as an example. I'm sorry, guys. But it starts off great. And all of these start off great, and they're very interesting, but they want to keep these running on for 7-10 seasons. And you have to get so involved with their lives and all these, oh my God, and just crying. Everybody's crying all the time.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just pull it back a bit, guys. It's just, it comes off really corny sometimes.
It does. And again, I will play the other side of that argument and say that I feel like The Walking Dead never made qualms about being that, and it has been consistently about a story about the characters, and therefore, if you're tuning in for it, then you should know that you're in a zombie soap opera. Whereas some shows that I really enjoyed, like, and I'll name them, like Prison Break.
Prison soap opera.
Justified.
Oh God! See, that's a great example.
Dexter.
Yeah, the serial killer.
The reason why that I'm bringing these up is because, and I'll use Justified as an example for those of you out there who
every
ever watched
episode we got to see somebody shot, and it was justified. That was the point.
The first season was all about him rolling into town and cleaning up the bad guys in the town, and every episode ended with somebody getting shot. But it might have been under bad pretenses, but he was, yes, justified to do it.
And he was so cool. He was like, "I'll shoot you in what did they call it? The apricot spot?"
Yeah. And by the second season, it wasn't about that anymore.
I think they only killed like 2 fucking people.
And it was about the soap operatic lives of these characters. And the same thing with Dexter. I enjoyed Dexter for the first couple seasons because it was about a serial killer killing lots of people. And by the 4th season, whatever season it was with John Lithgow, John Lithgow.
My baby!
Yeah.
My baby! Who cares?
It got to the point where it just felt like I was watching too much about the characters and not about what they were doing. And that's why I'm tuning in every day, is to watch what's happening.
Yeah,
you know?
I can't believe I made it through that fucking show, man.
Yeah.
It dragged on and on and on.
Give
it up, man.
It is this thing with American culture where now almost every single show, unless it's a sitcom like, Big Bang Theory or Mike and Molly or something like that, unless it's a straight up half-hour cookie cutter sitcom, every show is turning into is having this hard-fought battle between here's some really great content and here's some awesome action and some amazing stuff that's happening, and then here is just literally like so-and-so's in a coma and you slept with him, and and that's all it is.
So many shows it was like, if I see one more fucking person cry, I'm shutting this shit off, and God damn it, it was like 1 minute later and it's like, I'm done. I'm done. I can't believe I can't spend hours watching people cry. Please stop.
So there you go.
D-Man's Death Wish Update. Brought to you by Death Wish Coffee.
Too many changing gears here. You know, I feel like I got to pull it back again, but
Yeah.
I'm all sweaty.
It's okay. It's okay. You can be sweaty. We got lots of cool stuff to talk about. First of all, I want to start off your update by just saying, grind it out.
Yeah,
We
and
love-
this new episode, I know Tyrone personally. He's
Yeah.
a really cool, eccentric, awesome guy.
Yeah, I'm not going to say any more about it. Go on over to YouTube. Check out our brand new, or, right on deathwishcoffee.com, too. Check out our brand new mini doc with the Grind It Out campaign with Tyrone. It's awesome. Follow the hashtag Grind It Out for all the cool stuff that we're coming out with. New Spotify playlists, new mini docs, new memes, new all sorts of merchandise that's coming out soon.
Yeah, we got some cool stuff coming.
Yeah, and speaking of cool stuff, come on, give me some goods, man.
Okay,
Give
we're
me
gonna
some
start. We're
goods.
gonna start off a little light. We're gonna have another giveaway on Thursday. We're gonna have a Father's Day card giveaway.
We did talk about this a little bit, but yes, this Thursday when you're listening to it, Father's Day card's coming out in plenty of time so you can get it and send it off to your dad.
And it's very similar to the Mother's Day card that we sent out.
Yeah.
So expect that. But we got something even cooler coming.
I can't wait to hear what it is.
So we talked about it really early on when I got back from the
SCA.
the Specialty Coffee Association in Seattle. And we ran into Clean Canteen, and they showed us their new cold cup. And Eric and I turned to each other, and we're like, that is the new evolution of our cold cup. Well, lo and behold, as you're listening to my voice right now, you can purchase one. And we have a very, very limited amount.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how the sale is going to go, but chances are it's going to run out quick. We'll probably have some more coming in July. But we're releasing the new cold cup, and what's cool about this one is that last year we had like a plastic straw, and it was all right.
Yeah.
But this year we have a metal straw, a stainless steel straw, so it won't get eroded by awesome acidic coffee. But it has a silicone bendable tip, so you don't chip the teeth out of your head.
Yeah, yeah.
And so you'll get the cold cup tumbler, and it has its own little top, and you could probably put hot coffee in it with the normal top, right? Mm-hmm. Don't quote me on that, people. Sorry.
But it's awesome.
But it also comes with a straw set, and comes with a straw cleaner, so it makes it nice and easy, and they just look beautiful.
We can't say enough good things about Clean Canteen, and you guys are going to love this product. So honestly, get on it. Get it before it's gone.
Yeah. And also, we have some other things coming. Flag Day. We'll have a new flag that we're releasing.
Yeah. We did the flag, the big black flag. You've probably seen it on social media before, and that was a lot of fun. We wanted to do something a little different, mix it up a little bit, and the incredible Thomas Dragonetti just
At it again.
knocked it out of the park
Yeah.
once again, and we're coming out with a pennant.
Yeah.
It looks awesome. It's definitely, you want to put it on a stick and wave it around.
Yeah.
Go team, go Death Wish.
And we talked about this a little bit before, but we're saying it here officially. It's going to be released on Flag Day.
Yeah. So you'll be able to get that, and like I said, it'll look great. You can put it on your boat or your
And we
house
worked with
or
a
your
top-notch
car.
company. This is from Oxford Pennants, the like main pennant maker. So
Yeah.
we, just like our hats working with New Era, we don't mess around, people. We work with the best vendors as possible.
Yeah. And finally, because I'm just gonna cut you off because I just know
Jeff,
July's gonna be
I cut you off.
July's gonna be crazy. Everybody, get prepared. Get your wallets out because July. We are releasing so much. And if you've been watching this whole episode, you probably might have been freaking out just a little bit because of what's directly in the middle of the table, but I got a better picture for you. That's it. Right there. There it is.
Oh, shit.
There it is. The brand new mug that's going to be coming out from us along with the decanter. We told you we were doing it, and we're doing it. So this time, this isn't a mug release. This is a set. You are going to be able to buy this as a set, and it'll be coming out very early July. So get ready for that. And like with all of our mug releases.
Wow, Jeff, that design is so cool. Who did that?
Thomas Dragonetti.
Oh!
It is really, really cool. We're really proud of this one. If you can't tell from it being on the table or behind me, it is a big, nice, sturdy mug yet
It's
again.
a tankard.
Yeah.
It's a full blown tankard here, and the
Yeah.
decanters are nice. And man, I can't wait to blow this.
Yeah, shush. Well, but we're really proud of this, and that's why we're releasing it as a set. We're doing something different. We're always releasing mugs, but this time it's a mug set with our nice little creamer decanter there.
And feel free to let us know. I'm curious what you guys think about this.
Yeah.
So give us your opinion.
Totally.
We might do more of these in the future, but only if you like it, people.
Yeah,
We're
so-
only making this for you. So.
And this only touches July. This is going to be very beginning of July. This is going to come out, and the amount of stuff that's coming out following it is crazy. So get ready.
Yeah, it's going to be a whirlwind and stuff. And that is all. I'm sorry that we have no more intel for you, but
Tune in next
yeah,
week.
we'll have more stuff for sure.
Yes.
Welcome back to the show.
Welcome back to the show, Jeff.
All right. Who's on the show this week, Dustin?
A gentleman by the name of Wayne from Hatebreed.
Yeah, this guy. So, funny story. We supply coffee to anybody that we feel is cool enough to drink our coffee. No, I'm just kidding. But a lot of the music industry, we love to fuel, especially their crews, because they work so hard. And we actually got hooked up with the Dropkick Murphys. And we've been giving them some coffee, and they have been so nice talking about us on social media and everything. And they invited us out to a show this past St. Patrick's Day. And we went out there, and I'm backstage talking to some of the band members, and this guy's standing on top of the stairs, like with a little tech, headset on and his little pass and everything. And I'm looking at him, I'm like, I recognize this guy from somewhere. And he saw me looking at him, and he comes up, and he's like, hey, and he shakes my hand, and I was like, hey, we're here with Deathwish Coffee. He's like, oh, I love your coffee. I was like, I recognize you, don't I? And he's like, yeah, I'm the guitarist of Hatebreed. And I was like, I thought you were. He's really good friends with the Dropkick Murphys guys and just happened to offer his services to Guitar Tech for them. But we talk more about that. We talk more about him just he started out with the band. If you're not familiar with Hatebreed, they started out in the 90s when the whole hardcore music scene was really ramping up. And he's had an incredible kind of career track to now being in Hatebreed and touring the world in some of the biggest tours out there. And they're just about to go on tour again. They're starting out actually as this show is coming out, or just around as this show is coming out, and they're going to be on Warped Tour this year, and it's just a ton of awesome stuff.
And we have a pretty funny conversation about maybe he might have been too inebriated at one point.
Yes.
Faraway land might have
Yes.
started some trouble, so we get to hear all about that and more.
Yeah. So mugs up for Wayne Lozinak from Hatebreed.
The Fueled by Death guest.
Let's start where we always start, in the beginning. You actually started with the band when the band formed in the early 90s. I believe it was 94. God,
Yep.
we're all getting
1994.
old. We're all getting old. Can you talk a little bit about what it was like starting a hardcore band in the early 90s? At that point?
Sure, it was actually Jamie Josta. He was in a band called Josta 14, where he kind of gets his name from.
Yeah.
And they were pretty popular hardcore band in the on the East Coast from New Haven, and then he left that band and he wanted to start a new one. So it was like he'd already kind of had the name, from just people knew him from, and plus he booked shows and everything, so he was already pretty established in the local hardcore scene.
Uh-huh.
And he got together with another local band called Frostbite, and the drummer of that band, Dave, who was the original drummer, they kind of put the band together and auditioned people and everything. And right off the bat, the people were. Jamie had the name before he even had the band. I saw it on flyers, like Hatebreed playing. I was like, do they even have a band yet? And it's like, nope. So he really wanted to get this thing off the ground. But once it started, it was great, especially the hardcore shows back then. It was like there were so many of them every weekend, and they were packed, and everybody knew each other, and it was just fun and good times, and just a great vibe all around with everybody.
Yeah, I actually grew up in this area in upstate New York, and in that same time frame we had a kind of like the same scene, and it was amazing being able to go to all those different shows, and just like you said, everybody knew each other, and it was kind of like this whole camaraderie kind of thing.
Yep. What clubs did you usually go to in that area?
I think I saw you guys. I think at Saratoga Winters.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and around that time. But I used to go there. We used to go to QE2.
QE2 we used to play.
Yep.
In '95 all the time. I remember playing there. There was like a railing along the stage.
Yeah. Totally.
Yep.
So how from the inception of the band until the next couple of years before you ended up leaving the band, how much of a rise was there in the band? You guys, when did Victory Records start to come in?
That was after probably months after I left.
Really?
I was I was it was just like a local hardcore band back then. So, I was actually in college and had a job, not a great job, just working at JCPenney, but still a job nonetheless.
Right.
So were you kicking yourself at all when that happened?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Because, I was like, I'm not going to, it's a hardcore band. You do it for fun. I did it for fun on the weekends.
Totally.
I never thought of it a career, especially, that type of music. I mean, I guess you never really know what's going to hit. I mean, there was 100 bands in Connecticut back then, and that was the one band that really made it out of all of them,
Right. But
I was like, I don't want to quit my job and just tour for fun, I just, you know what I mean, not make any money or anything, so... and then, of course, years later, I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
Well, but that's, that's the dichotomy of being in bands, and both Dustin and I know that, because we've been in bands for a while, and, it's that fine line of, either you can't attack it being, I'm going to be the next Metallica,
Right.
But you can't you have to make that decision at some point, any time that you're in any band, you have to make that decision. Am I going to go out there and do this for fun and take those risks, or am I going to actually try to
especially though like a hardcore band, because
exactly.
That's not really a money making a career. How many bands last that long?
Well, I mean, before Hatebreed, there was really none. Hatebreed,
they were the classic band. There's Agnostic Front and the Cro-Mags. And
yep.
They're classic bands and they're huge in the scene, but you don't really think of them as I mean, now they're still playing and still going, but back then it's, they're broken up and they're getting back together and this and that.
Yeah, it was a totally different time. So even going back a little further, what got you into playing music? What made you pick up a guitar?
The very first band I ever got into was Kiss.
Yes.
My father used to have records when I was a baby, so I've heard it since I was born, and I was even Paul Stanley when I was 5 years old in kindergarten for Halloween.
Excellent.
And I was always just banging on the guitar. And then I got into Ozzy, Judas Priest, Iron Maiden, and all the metal bands back in the early '80s.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a great list of things to get you to want to pick up a guitar.
It's a healthy transition.
Definitely,
yeah, totally.
Especially, it was so different back then. I mean, you put on MTV and they had metal music playing and stuff. So now it's pregnant teenagers and Jersey Shore or whatever the hell they have going on.
What happened to this world?
It's not.
Justin Bieber is the most popular thing now.
There's no such thing as music television anymore, unfortunately.
No.
So you left the band in '96, and
actually, I was in the band. If you get technical, twice before.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I joined when it started in '94, late '94, and then I left at the end of '95.
Oh.
And then mid '96, the bass player actually left temporarily, who's been in the band the whole time, just for 1 year, mid '96 to mid '97, he left. And then the guitar player called me. He was like, "Hey man, we just need you to do the show with us. Man, we're playing with Biohazard in Long Island."
Oh,
and this was mid '96. I was like, "All right, I'll do it." And then I ended up just playing again. And then the guitar player switched over to bass temporarily, which was Lou Boulder Richards.
Yeah.
Rest in peace. He died in 2006.
Yeah.
But so I did that for I think another 8 months. I was like, "Yeah, I'll fill in. I'll help you guys out. Whatever." Still not thinking it's gonna go. But then I saw the shows getting a little bigger, and we actually got to the show late, that first one with Biohazard, and they were like, "Oh, you got to go on after Biohazard. You're late." I'm like, "Oh
no.
man."
Oh, jeez.
And this, Biohazard was huge, but we ended up going on after them, and everybody stayed and was going crazy. And I was like, wow. Like that, I couldn't believe that. That's when I was feeling like, okay, I guess maybe the band does have something, but still not enough to quit my job. And I still was just doing it for fun back then.
So after you left the band for good, did you continue to play guitar in bands, or at least by yourself?
Yeah, like I don't probably never heard of them, but I was in a band, another like hardcore band called 2x4. I don't know if we played mostly just Connecticut, Massachusetts kind of area, and then I was in more of like a punk oi band called the Youthful Offenders, and we had like a 12-inch out and CD, and just played locally again, and a few other bands, but nothing serious.
Did you stay in contact with any of the guys from Hatebreed?
Well, yeah, Chris Beatty, he's like one of my best friends, so I've been talking to him since day one. He's actually how I got back in the band. I don't know if you know this. In 2006, he was like, "Oh, I need a tech," and I was like, "Well, I'll do it." So I actually was their guitar tech in 2006, and I was like, "I'll change your strings and plug in your amps and tour the world."
Right.
Why not? So then, and Ozfest 06 was my first tour ever teching, so it was like getting thrown into the fire on that one.
Wow. And so I met you, like I had said earlier, actually teching for the Dropkick Murphys. Do you
Right.
do that? Do you still do that on kind of a regular basis, doing a guitar tech kind of thing?
I actually never do that. Because Sean quit the band in 2009, so I've been playing back since 2009, and so I hadn't really teched until 2008. Mm-hmm. But I'm good friends with Dropkick Murphys band and crew. And last year I was just sitting home, and they needed someone midway through the tour. It's like, oh, we need someone right away. Would you want to do it? And I was like, so this is 2000. So I haven't teched in 8 years. I'm like, hey, why not? I'm not doing anything anyway. So I actually went out with them last year for like a week or two. I can't remember. And then so this year the same thing. We had some time off, and they're like, oh, we need someone again. Do you want to do it? I was like, yeah, why not? And I did end up doing the whole tour. So I've only teched for just Dropkicks on this one tour and last year, but I haven't done anyone else since 2008.
That's crazy. So I'm sure then now having at least a couple times where you were a guitar tech, it gives you probably a different appreciation for both sides of the game kind of thing.
Definitely.
Yeah.
100%. And I know what not to do as a tech, because I know when people do stuff to, when I'm there, I'm like, oh God, well, just do this. Why can't you just do this?
Right.
Like, I just want it to be the same every day. Put the amp in the same spot, the pedals in the same spot. It's kind of like simple stuff like that. But
so when did you start taking over playing guitar again for Hatebreed? Did somebody like fall off the stage and they were like, "You're in, kid"?
No, Sean actually quit in 2009. So January 2009, they were just like, oh, Sean might be leaving. You want to come back and play again? I'm like, well, actually, first they were like, it might just be a tour. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And he's like, well, actually, he might be quitting for good. So you want to come back? He's like, yeah. I was already with him, like on the bus. I knew most of the songs anyway.
Right.
I had actually teched for a couple other bands too. In between there, I teched for Exodus.
Awesome.
And Monster Magnet.
Awesome.
Oh, I love Monster Magnet.
And one really different one, Rihanna.
Really?
Yeah. No. So that was an experience.
So, okay, that brings up an interesting question then.
That was 2007.
How different is a tour like that? Because I mean, like, I see a band like Hatebreed, touring the world and playing to humongous crowds and stuff like that. But then you bring up somebody like Rihanna, and like, that's got to be a whole different monster, especially from the tech side of it, right?
Actually, the tech side is almost the same. You're still setting up guitars and still doing the same thing, but you could play in these fancy places, and you got your. Some metal bands have two buses, but like Hatebreed only has one bus, so it's band and crew on one bus. But you got your crew bus and catering every day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and it's just way different. But the work is almost the same. You're still pushing in cases and changing strings and making sure everything goes okay during the show.
Right. It's just a different monster because Rihanna's on stage.
Yeah, exactly.
And you get catering.
Yeah, you get catering.
Yeah.
So since you joined back up with the band, I mean, it's obviously a whole different beast now. I mean, Hatebreed is massive and, touring the world. Where do you have a favorite place to play, like a favorite country or a favorite club or something that you love to return to?
Actually, I love playing Connecticut all the time where we live, because just like coming home to seeing all like your friends in the crowd and people that are like, they're like excited that you made it, and the crowd. I actually went to Anthrax last night. It was Anthrax, Killswitch Engage, Josta, which is Jamie's solo band.
Yep.
And I've never seen so many Hatebreed shirts at a show that wasn't ours. Just the Connecticut love is always good.
That's got to feel great.
But like Germany's always good. We play there a lot. Good crowds over there. There's so many places.
You're actually going. I believe you're starting in Germany on your next tour next week, correct?
Yeah. I'm actually leaving Monday to go back on tour. So.
And then I think I saw on the website that you guys are doing a U.S. tour in the summer as well. So that'll be
that's Warped Tour.
Oh, you're touring on Warped Tour. Excellent.
Yeah,
in fact, I heard that. That's right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like almost 2 months or something.
Wow.
I know it's long. Well, I know we're actually going, because we're going to Europe next week, and then we come back, and then we go to South America. We're doing some big festivals with like Slayer and Five Finger Death Punch, and I think Linkin Park is on it. Then we go back to Europe in the beginning of June, and we fly right from the European tour in June to Warped Tour. So we're going steady.
Is this Hatebreed's first time on Warped Tour?
Well, they played it in 1998. Actually,
oh wow,
that's after I left.
A billion years ago.
Yeah, it was completely different back then.
Yeah, totally.
But we actually did Warped Tour Australia a few years ago.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that was pretty cool. But yeah, so this summer is pretty packed.
And this summer, including the tour that's starting up very soon, you guys are touring on your new album, Concrete Confessional, which is awesome, by the way.
Yes, thank you very much.
And I mean, tons of love. It was named one of the most anticipated metal albums from Rolling Stone last year, and real high marks on Billboard and all that stuff. I'd love to hear what it's like in the band when you guys attack a new album. Like, what is the writing process like, especially coming from guitar?
Mostly, actually, the riffs are actually written mostly by Jamie and Beatty, the bass player.
Oh,
like
really?
we meet in the studio, and they kind of have just a bunch of riffs, like not together, but just recorded.
Yeah,
ideas. So then Jamie he plays a little bit, like just enough to show me his idea.
Right.
Like sometimes he'll even hum the riff. They'd be like da 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 da, like that. I'm like this, and then like stuff like that. And then Chris Beatty, the bass player, he writes a lot. So it's mostly they're the writing force, and they've mostly been since day one. So,
So
try not to change the formula up too much.
You don't even hit the studio with completed songs then?
No.
Wow.
we do pre-production in the studio, and we basically put them together in the studio. So we just record, the guitar ideas to like a click track, and then listen to them, and put certain ones together, and then then they put a drum beat to it. See, it's good with the click track because then you could just you could play the drums. It'll be in time with it, so you could try different ideas to see what works.
Do you feel like the songs tend to flesh out when you start playing them out live, like on tour and stuff?
We usually feel out from what the crowd vibe is. We don't even have a set list. So
really?
Like Jamie will start playing songs, and Jamie he says he could tell what the crowd wants to hear by their reaction. So I'm like, okay. So we know the first song, and that's it.
Wow. Does it ever get hairy on stage?
Oh yeah, definitely. Sometimes if the monitors aren't good, and I'm looking at the drummer, we're like, what'd he say? What'd he say? And then we're like, there's been one time where like I didn't even hear him, and the drummer clicks it off on the hi-hat, and I'm like, just nothing. I'm like, what?
You ever end up playing separate songs at the same time?
I haven't done that yet.
That's good.
Good.
We have two different tunings. So there was one time where I didn't know we were switching tunings. So I just started. I was like, he announced a song, and I started playing. I'm like, wait a minute, that's that. And I look over and I see the other guys, because I'm by myself on my side of the stage, and the other two guys are on the other side. So I didn't even notice them switching their guitars. Like I must have been, getting a drink of water or something in between the songs, and I just came back, and then So while I was playing in a different, we just had that was a train wreck. But.
Isn't that what a good guitar tech is for? To hand you the correct guitar?
But normally, if you don't have a set list, though, they don't know when.
It's true.
You know, it's just we kind of tell each other on stage. And with us, we only have one guitar tech for all three of us.
Oh wow!
So he goes on the other side of the stage, and I'm just like either the drum tech will hand me my guitar, or I'll just grab it because we don't have too many changes anyway, so it's not that big of a deal. Like he still sets everything up and everything, but during the show, he's just on the other side of the stage.
Right. Crazy. Well,
but yeah, that would be the guitar tech. Guitar tech's job.
That's nuts. You guys, Hatebreed has had the incredible ability to just play all different types of shows with all different types of bands. Do you ever, now that you've been doing it for a handful of years, do you still get starstruck? Do you ever play with a band and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe I'm playing with these guys, like kind of thing?
I mean, I'm a big Zakk Wylde fan.
Yeah.
As of why I first liked the coffee.
Yeah.
Like, let me try this out.
We love ourselves some Zakk Wylde.
We had the coffee on the Dropkick tour. That was the first time I had it. We had the bunch of bags just got delivered.
Yeah.
So I was drinking it every day on the bus, and I was like, "Oh, this is actually good too. It's
awesome.
not just because I'm a fan of Zakk. It's actually good coffee."
You guys
we did it.
You guys
we
did
a tour with
Label, right?
Yeah. So that was like, even though we played with them every single night, it was still kind of like, it's Zakk. I was a fan when I was 14 years old. When No Rest for the Wicked came out. So that's always cool seeing him.
Yeah, he's an intense guy too.
Oh yeah,
he's really fun, man. That must have been pretty insane working with him.
Yeah, it was great, and it was a fun tour. It was us, Black Label, and the Butcher Babies.
Oh wow!
So it was a party every night, pretty much.
Heck yeah, that's really great. What this upcoming tour? I think I saw it online outside of Warped Tour, but when you're going to Europe and stuff like that, what are some of the bands that you're going to be playing with out there?
Well, this was the tour. The tour that we're doing is with Dying Fetus.
Yeah, that's right. I did see that. That's awesome.
And then we're combining up for in Berlin with another show, just another tour, just for the one show. I think it's Havoc.
Whoa.
Warbringer, Ex Mortis, and Go Rod.
Ooh,
so that should be a pretty big show.
Yeah, that'll be huge. Holy crap!
But but the European festivals. I mean, we're playing Grass Pop. It's like the Scorpions, and the European festivals are so much bigger than anything that's ever been in the U.S. They're just
yeah, they really
a whole
are.
different level. It's great. I love playing those.
That's awesome. Do you find time? You're touring all the time. You're writing music. Do you find time to still listen to music? Is there bands and stuff that are coming up that you're digging?
Especially now, especially when I'm not when I'm teching, it's like working all day. But when I'm playing, I don't do anything except play. For an hour a night. So I have nothing but time. But I think the two newer-ish. Not, I guess they're not brand new, but newer than the stuff I listened to growing up as a kid, like Black Label Society for one.
Oh yeah.
And Arch Enemy. I love Arch Enemy.
Yeah, Arch Enemy's
that's
great.
Their playing is unbelievable.
Has Hatebreed ever gotten a chance to play with them?
Yeah. So we did some festivals. They actually toured with them with Slayer back in 2003.
Oh whoa.
But we've done some festivals with them, so it's always great watching them on stage. I actually like Ghost too. That's a little different.
Yeah,
they're just yelling, screaming all the time. Sometimes you need a little break.
Yeah, Ghost is an odd beast. They're definitely they're making waves.
I can't believe how much they've blown up.
I know.
It's really intense.
That. I think part of that was because they toured with Metallica, and that had a lot to do with it. James Hetfield supporting them.
Yeah, that's a huge stamp of approval right there.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty incredible. Outside of the tour, is there anything next for Hatebreed? I mean, you guys are still rolling high on this new album, but I mean, after the tour in Europe and then Warped Tour, is there anything on the docket yet?
Yeah, nothing scheduled as of right now, but we never know. Stuff pops up all the time.
Right.
Totally. But I mean, now we're going pretty straight ahead from now until the end of August, so it's pretty good amount of shows coming up.
That's intense. That's so cool. Where is the best place people can follow? I mean, I know Hatebreed, has their website and everything, but how about you?
Right.
Where's the best place people can follow you?
I have 2 places, Instagram and Twitter.
Awesome.
And it's just my name, Wayne Lozinak.
Nice.
And that's Lozinak.
Easy.
So Instagram and Twitter, that's me.
Easy.
Awesome.
No Facebook. I don't do the Facebook.
Yeah.
So what's the craziest thing that's happened on tour for you?
Oh man, I don't even know. Got to think of what we can get into. I guess I could tell you the big story that a lot of people know of why I actually got banned from drinking on tour.
I haven't heard this.
I haven't heard this either.
Yeah, we could go. Might as well go with that one. It always seems to pop up. This is actually when I was still the tech, and this was like my 3rd tour with them, and it was the first time I ever went to Europe.
Uh-huh.
And so day 1, the show is the next day. Me, the bass player, and the other guitar players. We go to the bar, and we're drinking, and all of a sudden they're like, "Oh, you want to try this?" I was like, "What's that?" It's like, "Oh, it's absinthe." I was like, "Well, I never had that before, but I'll try it." So, needless to say, I was pretty out of my mind by the end of the night. So we leave the bar and we go back. The bass player wants to get a kebab in Germany.
Uh-huh.
So we're like, all right. So we get in the cab, we get out, and I don't even remember, but I guess they said they look over and they were paying, and I was just laying on the ground. And I guess someone was coming up. I don't know if he's trying to help me up or tell me. I don't know, but we start fighting.
Oh no!
And then all of a sudden, 15 people come out of the Turkish kebab place, and we're fighting in the street. Frank and Beatty are fighting in the street. So then whatever that breaks up, the cops come, and we're yelling at the cops. They didn't do anything. I'm surprised we didn't get arrested.
Yeah. How does something like that? How does something like that get resolved? How do you not get your ass totally kicked?
I don't know. I don't know. But then we just left. But then the bass player was he's like, "Oh, my wrist." I was like, "Oh man."
No.
So we go, and this is the tour starting tomorrow now. So we go to sleep. I wake up and he's in a cast.
Oh
no!
And I'm like, "Oh, you got to be kidding me!" And now I'm still I just started touring with them a few months ago, so I'm brand new anyway. So then I actually had to learn the songs, and I played bass for the next show.
Oh my god!
And then while he was sitting there back, and then he was going home because he couldn't do anything. So and then I got sent home from Germany from the tour, and I was like, So then I was like, yeah, I guess if I come back out, I won't be drinking.
Was it your master plan all along to have somebody's wrist get broken so you?
No, that's what people say. I'm like, no. There was actually another time when Sean, the old guitar player, got food poisoning or something on tour in the U.S. And so I played some "Oh, you poisoned Sean." I'm like, no,
no,
I didn't do it.
Oh, that's funny.
So, yeah, there's just one of the stories.
That's funny though.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's kind of infamous in our world when that comes up.
Are the Hatebreed tours usually a little bit crazy on the crazier side? You guys just partying it up, having a good time, or
not as much. They used to be. I mean, they used to be insane, but everyone's a little older now, and so it's. But every once in a while, we let loose, but not too bad anymore.
That's good though. I mean, there's a good dichotomy there.
Yeah.
Finally, we always like to ask our guests this. You've been on tours. You've played huge festivals. You've toured the entire world. You've been playing guitar now for a very long time. What fuels you to keep going? What fuels you to keep, getting out there and performing in front of people and writing music and stuff?
Well, I just love music. I've always it's my favorite thing above anything. So I'm just happy that I can actually have a career in something that I love doing, which is very rare for a lot of people.
Definitely.
Especially I didn't start until my 30s. Actually, I just had a regular job. I was actually driving a coffee truck, like one of those coffee lunch. Yeah, here you go, coffee truck.
Yeah,
that's funny.
It's funny because
I got one of those.
It's funny because I went back to the old shop after years, and I took a picture with him and I put it on my Instagram, and I didn't even realize I had a Death Wish Coffee T-shirt on. And I was like, oh, look at that. I didn't even notice, so I tagged the I don't know who runs your Instagram, but I tagged it on there.
That's awesome. That is awesome.
Well, if you ever need a job, you know who to call.
yeah,
there you go.
We got a truck that needs driving.
I gotta make sure, just in case this thing goes south. I can either be a tech or serve coffee to somebody.
It definitely won't, though. I mean, Hatebreed is just doing great. You guys are awesome. It's been such a powerhouse for years now, and I don't see Hatebreed slowing down anytime soon.
No, it's definitely. I'm really happy that the people like the new stuff too. We're not just like a nostalgia band where people only come to see the old stuff, and it's like a lot of bands put new stuff out, but nobody really cares. And it's like people really are loving this new album, which is great.
Yeah, and for all of our listeners, one more time, that's the Concrete Confessional. It's out on Nuclear Blast. Definitely pick it up. It's super, super awesome. And congratulations on all your success, and thank you so much again for taking time to talk with us on the podcast.
No problem, man. Thank you.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll be in touch. Keep caffeinated out there on the road.
Definitely.
Awesome.
This has been Fueled by Deathcast, a Death Wish Coffee Company podcast production. Thanks for listening.